Hello everyone, this is Maria from Maxifisio. I prepared for you today a group of breathing exercises that should help you if you're recovering from COVID or any other respiratory disease. But given the current coronavirus pandemic, I wanted to film something that can be helpful for a lot of people that are just going through the disease at the moment and then experience some weakness breathing wise after, whether you've been in the IC unit or whether you just had COVID at home. So these exercises will be done in sitting, and you can do them also. I'll show you a couple lying on the ground, which you can do lying on bed or lying on a mat if you've got a mat at home. As with any exercise, if you experience any weird symptoms like shortness of breath or dizziness or anything that doesn't feel right, just please stop them immediately. So we're going to focus on our belly breathing and ribcage breathing, trying to get our diaphragm muscle, which is our main respiratory muscle, working. And the first thing we're going to do is, while you're sitting, we're just going to come maybe a little bit forward into the chair and then come into a gentle forward lean. So if I was to show you sideways, rather than being upright, I'm just coming onto a little bit forward and my back is straight, so I'm keeping a good position on the lower back. And you can keep the hands resting onto the knees. Just have a look to the belly and just take a deep breath in through the nose. And then take a deep breath out, either through the nose or through the mouth, whatever you prefer. I like exhaling through the mouth. And you should be seeing your belly drawing in. If you don't see that happening, place one hand and just apply a bit of pressure, but gentle pressure, and then inhale again. And you should be feeling a little bit easier to expand the belly. And then exhale, and then just think of your hand helping you maybe to draw your belly down and in. And we're going to repeat it again. Inhale. And exhale. You can do it with both hands or change your hands. Whatever helps. So you can do it again with both. And then maybe eventually take the hands back onto your thighs. So you're not using the hands for feedback. Then from here, let's come into a bit more upright. So maybe go about 5 rounds of just trying to get the belly expanding. You can come all the way back onto the back of the chair if it's more comfortable, or stay slightly off it. And bring your hands again onto the belly. Take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. And you can again look down if it helps you. Let's repeat it again. Good. Let's try to bring now the hands onto the ribs. The ribs are always a little bit harder to open. Just picture the ribs coming out to the sides. You can help yourself again with your hands to give a little bit of pressure both on the closure, which is easier, and then keep that pressure as almost like a proprioceptive tactile input to help you open. And then maybe once you get that feeling of the ribs also moving, try to keep one hand on the lower tummy, one hand on the ribs, and try to feel both. And then once we have this going, we're just going to try to make the inhales and the exhales a little bit longer. So take a deep breath in, think of inhaling on 3, 2, 1, and exhale on 3, 2, 1. You can do a bit of a pause in between the inhale and the exhale. So inhale on 3, 2, 1. You can do a bit of a pause and then again exhale. 3, 2, 1. And if that's going well, maybe try to slow it down a little bit further. You can start thinking maybe of 5 counts. And then exhaling again on 5 counts or 5 seconds. Again, either through the mouth or through the nose. But the inhale, make sure you always inhale through the nose, not through the mouth. And again, the exhale, whatever you find more comfortable, you can do it. try it one more time. And then we're going to change positions. So you could try maybe about 5 to 10 repetitions of your deep breath. And if for any reason you find the first position we did when we were a bit forward is a bit easier for you, you could do it there. Otherwise, if you're more comfortable with a bit of support, sitting more upright, you can do it like that. So that's your choice, both options work, or you can do maybe 5 and 5 on each position. We're going to make our way down to the mat, or again, if you prefer to do this on the bed, that would be fine. We're going to be lying on each side, so go ahead and choose the lie you want to lie on first. You could use a pillow to support your head, or if you don't have a pillow, you can use your underneath arm like I'm going to demonstrate. Keep your legs comfortably bent up, and keep your hand, the top hand, kind of again on the area that covers a bit your lower ribs and the tummy, so you can feel a bit of both, the stomach and the ribs moving. And we're going to try again to take a deep breath in, expanding the belly, trying to open up ribs, and exhale. Just allow the ribs to close, the belly to draw in again. And we'll repeat it again. Okay, so you can do about 3 to 5 gentle breaths, just trying to feel the expansion to the abdominal area, the ribcage area. And once you feel that going, we can try again 5 to 10 rounds, slowing down the breath. So you can start again with 3 seconds for the inhale, 3 seconds for the exhale, and then maybe start going for 5, if that feels easy, otherwise you can continue for 3. It really depends on how your respiratory system is at the moment, so you might not be able to do 5 seconds on the first day you practice this, and that's fine. And as you go into practice, you could always try to make the inhales and the exhales longer, so you could try to go for 7 seconds, maybe even 10 seconds eventually. So I'm going to keep saying about 5 seconds because I think that's an average number that we could hopefully get to work towards too. But as I say, if you're able to hold it for longer, eventually to hold it for longer, please go for it. And I'd like you to try again 5 to 10 rounds of those slow breaths. Once you've done your 5 to 10 rounds, depending on the time you've got available or how you feel on the day, we're going to go to the other side. And just please mind as well that if your respiratory system is weak at the moment, especially if you've been in the ICU, you might find this tiring even though it's just breathing, and that's again normal. So this exercise should help you just to get your diaphragm working again a bit better and just get your lungs being able to expand a bit better. So give yourself time and don't get frustrated if it's not, if you find it difficult when you first begin to practice this. So let's repeat the same. You can keep your hand, again, kind of feeling a bit the lower ribs, the tummy area. You can always move your hands, of course. And as you start again, trying to feel the inhale, expanding the ribs, expanding the belly, and the exhale. Not thinking too much about timing. Just think of the breathing. You'll probably notice one side feels easier. You might be able to expand the ribs and the tongue a bit better, and that's normal too. And once you've got that sensation of the movement happening, you can facilitate it by applying a little bit of gentle pressure with your hand. We can then start doing the slower breath. So you can do again maybe the first 2 rounds for 3 seconds, inhaling, and 3 seconds exhaling. Trying to bring as much air as you can into the lungs, but also trying to get rid of as much air as you can out of the lungs. And if the 3 seconds is fairly manageable, you can go for 5. Both on the inhale, both on the exhale. And the other thing is, if you notice you struggle maybe with the 5-second inhale but not the exhale, or the other way around, just try to keep practicing this until you can even out both the inhalation and the exhalation. And allow you to do 5 to 10 rounds. And as I said earlier, if you feel you can do longer inhales and exhales, you can do that too. Just again trying to go for even numbers. So trying to control the inhale with the same timing as the exhale. Then once you finish these ones, we can try to lie on our back. You can have a bit of pillow or a couple of pillows if you find that lying down is a bit uncomfortable or if you tend to cough. So you can bring yourself into a bit more upright, almost a bit more, as if you had something behind you, you were more reclined seating. Just make sure it's comfortable for you. I'm going to demonstrate like this, but as I said, you need to be a bit more upright, that's fine. And you can do this again on the bed, or you could do it on a mat if you've got a mat at home. So let's bring our hands again on the belly as we did on the chair earlier. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Feel the belly expanding. Breathe out through the nose or the mouth, your choice. Feel the belly draining. If you don't feel it, you can add a bit of pressure with your hands, which should facilitate the expansion and the draining. And then let's take the hands on the ribs. You can do the same bit of pressure as if you wanted to close the ribs to help you facilitate the opening. And you can help yourself a bit with your hands to help the closure. As I said, the ribs are always a little bit harder to do, but it's important to get the rib expansion also happening. You can then maybe place one hand on the rib area, one hand on the lower tummy, belly, and try to feel both. If you prefer to do it with your arms by your side, that's fine too. I like having the tactile feedback, but that's a preference. It's also good to practice without, so you can do either, and then we'll go again for the slower inhales and exhales. So starting with 3 seconds on the inhale, 3 seconds on the exhale. So again, inhaling for 3, 2, 1, exhaling for 3, 2, 1. If that feels easy for you, you want to challenge yourself, go for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And a slow exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then repeat it again. Trying to bring as much air in as you can. And trying to get rid of as much air as you can. So really working your respiratory capacity, expanding the lungs and emptying the lungs fully, or as fully as possible. And as I said before, you could go for again 7 seconds, or again even 10 eventually. I find 10 very challenging myself. So again, 5 is a nice number, but you can always progress it. And once you've done again 5 to 10 rounds, we can relax. Maybe just have a couple of normal breaths. We've had to slow it down. Just think of breathing in gently and breathing out gently. Hopefully you should be feeling breathing is a little bit easier, a little bit deeper, a little bit slower. You can roll to our side and feel the same into sitting, so make your way back to upright. You could I'll come back to the chair, it is probably more comfortable, or if you're on the bed, sit on the bed. And just have a feel again of your breath here. You can do it with your eyes open or your eyes closed. Just feel the changes in the breath. Just breathe into your natural rhythm. But hopefully again you should feel you can breathe a bit deeper and probably a bit slower than when we started. Maybe just try 3 or 4 times and then relax. So these breathing exercises, you could do them easily during the day. They don't take too long. As you can see, about 15 minutes. You could do them 2-3 times a day if you got the time. Once a day is good. I would encourage you to practice them for 2-3 weeks, especially if you just had COVID. And again, regardless of whether you're being in hospital or the ICU unit or whether you're being at home, I think it's a good thing to practice given the virus affects the lungs and the cardiorespiratory system. But as I said, this is a good thing to practice if you had any other respiratory disease or if you're experiencing lately a bit of shortness of breath for whatever reason. Breathing exercises are always a good thing to practice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you got any other suggestions for any content you would like to see, please message me. If you're interested in any of my online classes, please visit my website, maxifisio.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you on my next video soon. Bye bye.